What's up, everybody? Tattoo Tucson Realtor here to break down the home buying process for you. And these videos are designed for the first-time home buyer or for someone who wants to become a first-time home buyer to give you a brief overview of the process and what to expect during a transaction. All right, let's get right into it. Basically, there are three main phases of the home buying process. There is the discovery phase, the search phase, and the transaction phase. And we're going to dig into each one of those phases a little bit closer right now. Okay, so phase one, the discovery phase, which is what I call it because this is the phase where you want to find out all of that pertinent information that you're going to need in order to successfully complete phases 2 and 3. You're also going to assemble a team of qualified professionals who are going to work on your behalf throughout this transaction. Basically, the most important thing that you're going to want to figure out during this phase is how much home can you afford. And in order to do that, you're going to have to sit down with a lender. Now, there's a couple different ways you can go about finding a lender. You can do all the research on your own and compile a list of lenders that you want to interview, or you can find a realtor who will provide you with a list of recommended lenders. Most of my clients go that route. They find me, they hire me, and I provide them with a list of lenders that I recommend that they use based on their situation. However you go about finding a lender, you're going to sit down with them and then they're going to go over a few key factors, namely your income, your credit history, your debt service, your assets, and your employment history. They're going to take all that information and arrive at a number that you are pre-qualified to borrow. That pre-qualified number becomes your budget for a house, your purchasing power, and is a crucial piece of the puzzle going into phase 2, the search phase. All right, so phase 2, the search phase. This is the phase that everyone is the most familiar with. It's the phase that has been hilariously dramatized in many different TV shows. But basically what you do is you sit down with your realtor and you go over everything that you could want in a house. From the bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, kitchen, 2 stories, 1 story, yard size, pool, amenities, location, anything that you want in a house, you let your realtor know. They will then take that list and combined with the pre-qualified number from phase 1, they will find a list of houses on the market that meet as many of those qualifications as possible. You will then go tour houses until you find one that you're interested in putting an offer in on. Your agent will then write the offer, send it to you for signings, and then present it to the seller. And depending upon the strength of your offer and the seller's situation, there could be some back and forth negotiation on it. Your offer could get outright rejected and you go right back to looking, or it could get accepted and you go under contract. Now this phase can be very short. This phase can also be very long, and it can be anywhere in between. However, the longer it goes on, the more discouraging this phase can feel. I have never failed to get a client under contract, so I will get you under contract and I will get you into the third phase, the transaction phase. All right, phase 3, the transaction phase. This is it. This is the final phase. It's the home stretch of the process. And depending upon how long phase 2 may or may not have taken, it can often feel like you're going from 0 to 100 miles an hour once we hit this stretch of the process. Because as soon as we get an accepted contract, that starts a 10-day clock on getting the inspections done on the property. While we're scheduling and coordinating all of the inspections that you want done on the property, the lender will also be requesting updated documents for the loan file and preparing and sending it to underwriting. The title company will also be working in the background to make sure that the title to the property is free and clear of any defects. Once the inspection period ends, we'll be negotiating back and forth with the seller regarding any repairs that you want done to the property, and we'll be also supervising that process and making sure that the appraisal gets done. We'll also be establishing homeowners insurance on the property, scheduling utility transfers, etc., etc. Once we get to the end of this phase, we'll sit down at the title company with a fat stack of documents for you to sign. You'll sign them and then you'll pay the down payment and the closing costs. At this point in the process, you'll then receive the keys to your new property and you'll be able to go to U-Haul and get a truck and start the moving process. So that's a basic overview of the entire process to buy a home. It is pretty straightforward in theory, but every transaction is unique and every situation is different. Make sure to subscribe to this channel below because I'll be following up with additional videos digging into each phase of this process. And as always, feel free to reach out to me in any sort of communication method that works best for you. Always here to help.